Hey up everybody, Magpie Gaming here. If you are new to the channel, please do consider subscribing and pressing the bell icon down in the corner to be informed of my latest videos. Good morning, good afternoon and good evening wherever you are in the world. I hope you're all doing well. So it's the beginning of a new year and it's a new chapter for Escape from Tarkov, forgetting all the controversy that they ended the year on. They did actually end on quite a high for a lot of players with the release of 0.11 and the labs and some of the new things that they added to the game. For me, they pulled it out of the bag with the new map and, as I say, some of the new additions to the game. It's, they've just gone from strength to strength in my eyes. But they did at the start of 2018 put out a big roadmap of what they wanted to achieve throughout the year, and I've been looking back over this over the last few hours. There was quite a lot of things that they put in this that they didn't actually get done. So, and with them releasing their 2019 roadmap, thought it'd be quite a good time just to look back at what they wanted to achieve last year, whether they achieved it or not, and what they want to achieve with the coming year, and whether or not some of that is actually achievable. Now, at the start of the post, they go into a lot of things that they wanted to look at. There was a lot of optimizations, there was a lot of hardware optimization that they wanted to do. They wanted to make the game perform better, they wanted to make load faster, look better, and these are things that they seem to do with every update. There's a lot of optimizations going on all of the time, a lot of behind the scenes technical updates. So it's hard to tell whether they've actually got anywhere with this or not. Looking back at the performance of the game at the start of last year to how it ended, for me personally, it never really seemed to get any better. It didn't seem to get any worse, it kind of just stayed the same. So whether or not they've actually made any progress on that one is a hard one for me to say personally. It just seems as though in terms of game performance on my system, it seems to stay roughly the same. Moving up to a 2080 Ti, yes, I get more FPS out of it, but I still do struggle to get great FPS out of it. So there's a lot of tweaking that needs to be done hardware wise, and that is something that they say they're going to work on in 2019 going forward. But for 2018, that's a hard one really to comment on. Time consuming magazine loading, this was something that they wanted to introduce into the game. Instead of instantly reloading your magazines, you'd have to do it at a bullet at a time. We all know they introduced that, and it took a little bit of getting used to, but I think everybody's got used to it now. Everybody has to do it, so nobody is at an advantage or a disadvantage with that one. So that is there and working quite fine. Animations for medical supplies, food and other consumables, that eventually made it into the game late in 2018. This was another one that people were looking forward to. Instead of Medin just giving you a little bar across the screen, you actually see your character doing it now. It takes the same length of time as just the consumer of the medical supplies used to. You can quit the animation by pressing fire if you need to. Of course, you don't have to be in your inventory or anything like that, so it just makes the game look a little bit more lifelike. Off-raid treatment and parameters recovery. Now basically what this was, that if you left a raid injured, you would still have to med yourself even if you were out of the raid. This is something that is still in the works. It never made it during 2018, but apparently it is going to be coming very soon in 2019. It's something that they're going to look at, I think, for 0.12, but we'll have to wait and see on that one, but it is on its way. Smoke grenades made it into the game. Waste of time really. They're very rarely used. They take ages to go off. So yeah, I don't really see that there was a massive need for those to be put in the game. Good that they're in it, but they don't really make or do anything very special, and it's very, very rare that I see anybody use them. Underbarrel grenade launchers. Now that will be a controversial one if it ever comes into the game. It didn't make it into the game in 2018. How that will change up the game going forward, I'm not too sure. I don't think a lot of people would be too happy with those, but we'll wait and see. They're probably going to be something that will be very, very expensive to buy and run. Troubleshooting, dealing with jamming, misalignment and misfires and ammo quality. This was basically the degradation of the weapon that you're using. It would happen over time if you were using the same weapon raid after raid. This is something that does work in a certain way. If you right click on your weapon, you'll be able to repair it. It does degrade over time, but it doesn't change the quality of the weapon within raid. So it's something that's part way there at the moment, but not fully there. Like they say, they're going to add weapon jamming and things like that within the game, so that'll be an interesting one, especially if it jams at that most pivotal moment within a game and you've got to stop and maybe like clean your weapon within the game, but we'll see where that one goes. Improvement of medical supplies, stimulants and things like that there was going to be added into the game. Now, according to the 2018 roadmap, they'd be sold by the therapist. Those haven't made it into the game yet, not for sale by the therapist anyway, but you can find stimulants and other things like that in the labs map. There's plenty of them in there to swag in different areas of the map. What they all do, I don't know, I haven't really used any of them. I've just been selling them because they sell for quite good money at the moment. But yeah, those are now in the game. They just made it in before the end of 2018. Ongoing introduction of skills. These are something that they're currently working on. You'll see in your skills screen that there are a lot of them grayed out, even though some of them are actually counted. Those are an ongoing thing, and I'm sure that we'll see more skills added as we go forward through this year. Scav leaders or scav bosses, we saw those introduced. They are great. They're really, really good to take on. They're a good challenge. I preferred them when they were on a 100% spawn rate on the customs map, but according to the 2019 roadmap, we're going to see at least one scav boss added to every map going forward. And well, what the spawn rate will be, I'm not too sure. I think they might keep it around the 30% spawn rate that I think it's currently at on customs, but we'll see. The flea market, of course, that made it into the game towards the end of 2018. In my personal opinion, it was a revelation within the game. It allowed you to jump a lot of the tasks where you had to grind to find things within the game. You could then count on those people, such as myself, that go hatcheting in the game to find the things that you needed and sell them to you on the flea market. So that is up and running. The pricing of certain items is questionable, but it's something that's going to be worked out. They tried linking the prices into the vendors. It pushed the prices of some things up, it pushed other things down. Getting an economy within a game working correctly is going to be a hard one, but it's something that they're currently working on. The Hideout, this is something that they wanted to introduce in 2018. It didn't make it, but it will be coming in the 0.12 patch as far as the 2019 roadmap says, so we're going to have to wait for that one. And then the arena, which was going to be a competitive arena for players to play in. Not really sure what the arena is going to be. Seems to be that a lot of people thought that it might be their version of a battle royale style game. Not too sure on that one. I don't know if it's got a mention in the 2019 roadmap. I don't think it has. It's not something that I'm really interested in though. So for a lot of the things that they wanted to do for the 2018, they got quite a lot of them out. They got the majority of them up and running. Of course, they wanted to move over to a new version of Unity. I think they gave up on that one quite early in the year and just decided to optimize the version that they're working on now. I don't think there's any plans to move to the new version of Unity going forward through this year. I think they've got other things that they want to concentrate on. Obviously, going into open beta is something that they're concentrating on highly with this year. So looking at the 2019 roadmap, they've got a lot of bug fixes that they want to do, a lot of optimizations. They want to try and tweak the maps so that they all work better, they all run better, vegetation renders in better and it doesn't cause stuttering within the game. There are a lot of balancing and tweaks going forward, a lot of quality of life improvements. These are just things that they don't really go into specifics about what they're doing, they're just things that happen with every little patch. If you follow Escape from Tarkov closely, you'll know that it has at least a patch every week. It'll get a technical update. They won't list what's in these technical updates, but as far as we know, it's just small little tweaks that are meant to make the game a little bit better. Some of the things that they wanted to add into 0.11 but didn't make it but will be coming in the next patch is character clothing customization. That's going to be quite a big one, I think. You're going to be able to customize your character a lot more than you can right now. This, of course, will help squads. If you're able to identify your teammates because you're all wearing a certain item of clothing or something like that, I think that's going to help massively. I know that they go for the all-out realism within this game, but sometimes it's very confusing to tell your own squad from other players. So if you're able to tell that by wearing certain clothing, I think that will help massively within the game. Keycard functionality on labs and other locations, so I think we're going to be collecting keycards soon. There's going to be new extracts on some of the current maps, no other details given on that. The SVD rifle is going to be added into the game. We're going to have a new trader called Jaeger. He possibly will trade lost uninsured items on the last loyalty level, but they don't know about that one yet. A field surgical kit. This will fix blacked body parts. Now that's going to be an interesting one, especially you all know the pain of having a leg shot out or an arm shot out, especially when you're using a long scope and you're trying to keep your gun still. Your leg's gone, it is a pain in the ass to make it off a map, so the field surgical kit will be an important addition to the game, I think. New third-person character animations and optimizations. Don't know if we're getting a third-person view within the game. Not too sure about that one. I don't think that'd be a great one to add into the game. I don't know. I think that's maybe us looking at other players within the game and not our actual player. I don't want to see third person brought into this game at all, personally. New anti-aliasing is going to be brought into the game. Again, they're going to be working on the hardware side of things for people to try and get the game running better. And we're going to have weapon preset builds and the ability to buy and assemble them quickly. So basically that's going to be pimped guns that you're going to be able to buy built already. You can do that anywhere through the flea market, but the prices are extortionate, so I would assume that some of the vendors are going to start to sell them to us, and that will speed up having to spend ages within your inventory and going through the vendors buying stuff. I know that a lot of people like that, and of course that will still remain for those people that want to fully tweak their weapons, but a vast majority of this game is spent in your stash, organising things, modding things, and I think that will cut that down for a lot of people, because at the end of the day we want to be playing the game, not playing stash Tetris. The Hideout, as we know, is going to be pushed on patch 0.12. Basically, the Hideout is your own personal little space within Tarkov. You're going to be able to build it up with things that you find within the game. Eventually, you'll be able to start to create parts and mods within this. You're going to be able to create your own ammunition and things like that. I think you're going to be able to do your own clothing and stuff like that. So it just adds another element to the game where you're going to be able to buy and trade things within the game, adding to the whole economy of it. Whether the Hideout is going to be wiped, I don't know. I have asked the question on the Escape from Tarkov Facebook page. I never got an answer, but it was liked by a number of people, so people want to know this. Is your Hideout going to be reset with the wipes? I don't know. Right now I would probably think that it will be, but I think that could annoy people, having to build up your hideout as well as building up your character, going through the quest line again. It does get a bit annoying. At some point this game is going to have to stop wiping as often as it does. I understand a lot of people like the wipes, but my personal view on that is if you want a wipe, you can reset your character through your profile. Go do that, you know, not everybody wants to be wiped. So yeah, we'll see what happens with the Hideout, but I'm looking forward to seeing what it actually looks like to begin with and how it works. Going to be visual enhancements, as I say. Old maps are going to get a whole overhaul, vegetation is going to get a rework, screen space effects rework and optimization, and general graphic optimizations. I think we're all due those. I think they will be very welcome, especially if they increase our overall FPS within the game. As I mentioned before, new bosses are going to be coming into it. Each location will have a boss. Some locations will have two. We don't know which ones yet, but you could probably assume that it's going to be the larger maps. So Interchange will probably have two. Shoreline will probably have two. Customs could probably accommodate two now, especially with the expansion, so we'll see about that one. There's going to be new PvE groups coming as well. You're going to have UN troops, cultists, boss guards and others, so there's going to be a lot more than just the general scavs that we have right now. We're going to have a lot more to go at. There's going to be other things added into the game as well. There's going to be a lot of offline mode improvements made as well. You're going to be able to do PvE mode whilst playing with friends. I think that's one that a lot of people have been calling for, myself and my squad included. Something like that needs to be put into the game so that you can better practice. So that will be a good one to see. Inventory change, I'll get there in the end. Inventory system changes, so auto sorting, usability improvements with the inventory. There's going to be daily tasks added into the game. This is something that we see a lot of in other games, daily and weekly tasks. So what the rewards will be, I don't know, probably just XP at the end of the day. We're going to have compasses and binoculars added into the game, mines and tripwires too, new weapons, mechanics and abilities to control your character, and many other features put into the game. As I say, 2018, they were quite ambitious with what they wanted to do, but they managed to pull off a fair amount of it. Now I know that a lot of us would like to have seen the labs map a lot earlier within the year. Obviously they just squeezed it in, bringing it out on Christmas Day. We only had the interchange map added pretty much last year. I'm not going to count labs because it was so close to the end of the year. One map added into the game over all that time. I think it did start to stagnate towards the end of the year. I think the labs map has brought things to life. We are looking at getting a new location this year, the military base. So far that is the only one that's talked about. So how many maps we'll get this year, I don't know. But it seems like they're not going too far out with what they want to do this year. I think everything that they've listed is quite achievable for them, looking at how they did in 2018. So I am massively excited for Escape from Tarkov going forward. I understand there's a group of people out there that are, you know, on the fence about the game, don't like the game, have gone off the game because of recent things that have gone on in the last month or so. But me personally, I love this game, and I'm going to stick with it. I love playing it. For me, it is one of the best shooters out there. I don't think anything really comes close to the immersion that it gives you, the whole economy that drives it behind the scenes. I think it's really good, and I love it, so I'm going to be sticking with it. And yeah, that is pretty much all for this video. As always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching and listening. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care.